All right, this is the 8-5 notes. These are over your angle of elevation and depression. All right, so here we go. Angles of elevation and depression. Many real-world problems that involve looking up to an object can be described in terms of an angle of elevation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this angle of elevation and highlight this word up. Okay, so looking up is angle of elevation. This is the angle between an observer's line of sight and a horizontal line. So looking at this picture over here, okay, this is my right angle. So therefore, I know that my line of sight is going to be my hypotenuse. So here's your angle of elevation. Okay, so you're looking up. When an observer is looking down, so I'm going to highlight that when they're looking down, this is called your angle of depression. It's the angle between the observer's line of sight and a horizontal line. So again, here's your angle of depression, and we'll get into how we're going to do these in the examples. Okay, so we're going to just hop right in. The first one, it says the angle of elevation from point A to the top of a cliff is 34 degrees. If point A is 1,000 feet from the base of the cliff, how high is the cliff? So again, we have a right triangle. We know our angle of elevation is 34 degrees, so this is the angle we're going to look at. So this x is opposite, and this 1,000 feet is adjacent. Okay, so if you remember SOHCAHTOA, you are going to want the opposite adjacent, which is tangent. So we have tangent of 34 degrees is equal to opposite, which is x, over adjacent, which is 1,000. So we have 1,000 times tangent of 34 degrees is equal to x. Now make sure that your calculator is in degree mode, because if it's not in degree mode, it's not going to come out correctly. Whenever you type that into the calculator, you should get 674.5 feet. Don't forget your units. Okay. The second one, so number 2, it says the angle of elevation from point A, so right here, to the top of the hill is 49 degrees. If A is 400 feet from the base of the hill, how high is the hill? So we're looking over here. I'm going to put an X where the question mark is. So that's my opposite. And this 4,000 feet, again, is my adjacent. So looking at SOHCAHTOA, okay, we have opposite and adjacent, which is going to be tangent again. So tangent of 49 degrees is equal to opposite is x, adjacent is 400. So we're going to have 400 times tangent of 49 degrees will equal to x. So when you put that into the calculator, make sure it's in degree mode, you will get 460.15 feet. So there's my feet. Okay. All right, we got 2 more left, and I think that's it. Yeah, just 2 more left. So here we go. Find the angle of elevation. So we're trying to find this angle. So anytime you have to find the angle, this is going to be our inverse. It says of the sun when a 12.5 meter tall telephone pole casts an 18 meter long shadow. So what we're going to do is we're going to see the relationship with our side. So this is opposite. This is adjacent. So again, we get to use tangent. So tangent of this angle we're going to call x is going to be equal to opposite over adjacent. So 12.5 over 18. Now they're the same units, so if I were to write the meters on top of meters on bottom, those would cancel out. So now to find the measure of angle, we're just going to call it x for right now. You're going to use your inverse tangent. So remember, you hit second tangent, type in your fraction, 12.5 divided by 18. As long as your calculator is in degrees, you should get the correct answer, and that's going to come out to 34.78 degrees. All right, the last one that we're going to do, it says a ski run is 1,000 yards long with a vertical drop of 208 yards. Find the angle of depression. So this is what we're going to find. So again, anytime we got to find the angle, we're going to use inverse from the top of the ski run to the bottom. So here is the easiest way to do this. If you can find this angle in here and then do 90 minus whatever you get for this angle, that will give you your angle of depression. So let me show you how it's going to work. So let's go ahead and find this angle. So this right here is adjacent. And because this is across from the 90, this is the hypotenuse. So we have adjacent and hypotenuse if you have SOHCAHTOA. So SOHCAHTOA. Adjacent and hypotenuse is going to be your cosine. So the cosine of so many degrees, we'll call it x, is equal to adjacent, which is 208, over my hypotenuse, which is 1,000. So to find the measure of angle x, you do the inverse of cosine, which is 208 over 1,000. When you do that, you'll get the measure of angle x is equal to, whenever you do this, you'll get 78 degrees. Okay, so this purple in here is 78 degrees. That's not your angle of depression. Your angle of depression is going to be whatever you get when you do 90 minus 78 degrees. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because up here this forms that right angle. So 90 minus that 78 will give you 12 degrees. And that's your answer. All right, so that is it for your 8-5 notes.